What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You got it right here, and y'all can find. I hope I'm saying this name right, but it's Latina Brown. I hope I'm saying it right. But you have, and if I'm not, please correct me. You got here says this video is for Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Says the only reason you held that press conference is because you face public backlash for leaving homeless New Yorkers out in the cold to perish on the streets. Press conference after the fact does not at all, and one thing about this that I meant to mention too, is the simple fact that you have this individual that will constantly put out videos after video after video after video. And it almost seems like as these things, it's like he always has to put something on. Don't get me wrong. If something happens, individuals, they tend to, you're a mayor, you're governor, you tend to put something out. But it's like it's almost, in a sense, like he doesn't care. As long as it's a video put out just like this and he holds a press conference or something that he has to say, then everything, I guess, is just supposed to be completely fine. And it's insane to me. He hasn't fixed anything. New York is literally decreasing, and literally it's a mess right now. It's truly a mess. Check it out right here.
And 3 of these deaths appear to be overdose deaths. We await final results from the medical examiner's office and will inform New Yorkers as we learn more. Each of these lives lost is a tragedy. My heart was with the family of those mourning their loved ones. We are continuing to do everything in our power to get every New Yorker into a shelter where they will be warm. The cold is showing no signs of stopping, so neither will this city's efforts. From information available now, it appears that none of the individuals who have died outside were living in homeless encampments at the time of their death. New York remains in a code blue. If you see someone in need, please call 311. Outreach workers and first responders from the NYPD and FDNY will respond and get those New Yorkers the help that they need. Our outreach workers have only intensified their work to get homeless New Yorkers into shelter. We continue to operate warming sites and warming vehicles across the 5 boroughs. We have expanded shelter capacity, relaxed intake rules, and are working with our partners across the city to increase outreach. As of this morning, we have made more than 930 placements to shelters and safe havens. We have also involuntarily transported 18 New Yorkers who were determined to be a danger to themselves or to others. We have expanded our mobile warming units to a fleet of 20, which are moving throughout the city, equipped with clinical staff to treat New Yorkers' needs and get them off the street.
Hey guys, this is Latina favorite community advocate. So I saw the press conference that Mayor Zohran Mamdani held today, standing with a public advocate, Jumaane Williams, Comptroller Mark Levine, and the Manhattan Borough President, which I think is just an absolute joke. Now, the only reason why Zohran Mamdani is speaking about the deaths of the homeless people is because he's getting a lot of backlash for letting the homeless people freeze to death out here in the New York City streets, and his failure to, allow for NYPD and the outreach divisions to go out there and remove these homeless camps and get the homeless into shelters, especially when the temperature is at sub-zero. I find it to be mind-boggling that this guy thinks that he's supposed to be exonerated because he feels like, some of the homeless people that die from drug overdoses. No, sir. I don't care if it was hypothermia or a drug overdose. The point is that you left the homeless people on the streets to freeze to death.
Exactly.
And yes, they probably did turn to drugs to numb themselves from the cold temperatures, the frigid temperatures. You got to keep in mind, they are not mentally capable of taking care of themselves. And for you, sir, to sit up there and hold that shitty-ass press conference thinking that is going to exonerate you, my friend, you have a strange way of thinking. Your leadership is not the leadership that New Yorkers deserve. You do not know how to govern. You are a disaster. You left the homeless people on the streets while you sat there in Gracie Mansion, all warm, you and your wife, your constituents on the streets. You failed to remove the homeless. Say what you want about former Mayor Eric Adams. He removed the homeless off the streets. He did his job.
Yep.
You did not do your job. and you should not be exonerated. I don't care how many black people you have around you. You are a failure and a fraud.
Exactly. And I ain't even gonna go as far as like how many black people got around him. I don't care how many people he got around him and what he's trying to do. We just recently seen that, you know, he has an ex-con on his team. And it just goes to show you just a lot with Zohran and what he's doing. It's not looking right. It's not looking good whatsoever. And I truly hate that. You know, I truly do. And I know it's a strong word, but to have, you know, these individuals knowing of how bad this storm was, you should know. Seeing how this isn't the first time it has happened. Just hearing her say, you know, Eric Adams, he was, you know, ready for that, and he's seen, you know, just and one thing about it, you know, individuals have their pros and cons, but it just seems like with Zohran Mamdani is nothing but cons. It's nothing but, you know, things that's truly bad when it comes down to what Zohran Mamdani has to offer, and it's truly sickening. Check it out.
And Sean, this wasn't a test. This is prime time now. This wasn't something like COVID where no one saw it was coming. The forecast had already told us it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to get frostbite or hypothermia. So while he was parading around doing press conference in this custom jacket, they did a profile piece on that, by the way, Sean. Everybody was talking about the custom jacket. He did no planning at all. And now you got people that are dead as a result of it. The city looks a mess. You can't even get the snow removed off the sidewalk. Trash everywhere. The city was a dump before this, Sean, and it's only getting worse. This is not a test. This is game time. And as we know, Sean, he wasn't prepared.
And I'm pretty sure Zohran Mamdani, he actually, if I can go to it right quick, I'm gonna show y'all something actually. I didn't put it in this video, I don't think. I might have. Hopefully we come across. But if y'all go to Zohran Mamdani's, you should be able to see. Maybe not. Okay. Our city is working around the clock to keep people safe from during this cold snap. This weekend, we opened a single-room shelter units to give more homeless New Yorkers a place to sleep. So basically, he knew. The thing is he knew. He knew this was going to happen. He's seen how cold it was. These individuals only care about themselves. I mean, it literally just goes to show you. And he's more of a person, this smile gets on my nerves so bad, bro. He literally is a person that'll go and literally go just for a picture. Let's take a picture. This will look good. We need a picture with this homeless guy. This will look really good to show that you actually caring about them. It's truly sickening. Now he wants to take pictures. It was a video. I can't find it. It was actually a video of him actually shoveling. Let me see if I can find this. It was a video of him actually shoveling out here, y'all. Here it is, right here. I probably have this in the video already, y'all, but I had to go to it. So you literally go and you just see on how bad it is, you know, that he's trying to do a lot of this for photos and videos. I guarantee he shoveled just enough for them to get this 23-second clip. Guaranteed. Off bat guaranteed. Because that's just the type of person that he is. I'm telling y'all. What I tell y'all. I already had this video playing next. That's what's crazy about it. I feel like I'm just so outraged about it, though. I feel like I'm so outraged about it just because of how he's doing things and how he's making it seem after the fact of this, though. That's the thing. Like, and of course I'm not saying don't do it, but there's been so many occasions, you know, and I'm a person that obviously you have to start somewhere, but there's been multiple occasions on things happening and then he'll act on it. Rather than him knowing that it's a possibility it can happen, he sits there and it's like almost like he just waits. I don't know. Truly, truly, truly just sickening. Truly sickening. It says right here, at least 16 New Yorkers have, you know, passed away outdoors amid the deep freeze affecting the city. In 13 of those cases, hypothermia played a role. You know, I'm telling y'all, and that's, you know, obviously Mayor Mamdani. as the mayor should be ashamed of himself. Other mayors have dealt with this snow before. This is New York City, and truly, there's people that's it's been all across America, that had stuff in place. But as y'all know, New York is truly not only you have the homeless, you have trash everywhere, you have snow that isn't plowed, you have individuals, that literally can't get on the trains, you have individuals that can't get on the buses. Literally, I'm telling y'all, it's truly, truly disgusting. One thing about it, and I say this, and I had this actually. I had this in my notes about this video in particular. This Latina Brown says Mayor Zohran Mamdani is proposing a $1.9 billion Department of Community Safety to address crime, mental illness, and homelessness. I commented and I said, just makes me think about California. Seems like a money grab to me. And that's truly how I feel. That's truly how I feel. I feel like if he can't deal with everything going on, even with, the garbage collection, as y'all know, I said something about, the garbage. How is he going to deal with, and have this 1.9 billion? It's not. I feel like it's more of a money grab. Check it out right here.
Guys, this is Latina, your favorite community advocate. So after Mayor Zohran Mamdani received heavy backlash regarding the homeless deaths, totaling 16 now, he has decided to move forward and push this Department of Community Safety unit, which will be rolling out of his administration and is something that City Council is also working on. Now, this division is going to receive a budget of $1.1 billion. And with this so-called unit, it is to help with crime prevention, addressing mental illness, homelessness outreach. So my question that I have for Mayor Zohran Mamdani, because this does look like another money grab, we need to know whether or not if there's going to be transparency on these nonprofits that's going to be getting these contracts. We need to know where the money is going. We need to know if there's going to be reports. Is it going to be accessible to the public? Because this is our tax dollars, and we have a right to know what's going on with our tax dollars, what is it being used for, and we need to make sure that the homeless is actually being housed and that this is not just a money grab just to take from taxpayers. Because look what happened with Thrive, and still there hasn't been accountability. That money disappeared, and we've had triple the homeless rates in New York City. Now, you can say what you want about the former mayor, Eric Adams. He made sure that he got the homeless people into the shelters. They were not out in the streets, left out in the cold today. And you can agree with me or not, but that is a fact. So Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the only reason why you're acting now, and it's such a shame that we lost 16 human beings, their lives are just as important, and you're acting now because you got backlash from your allies that endorsed you, and the media, of course, held you accountable, and we had to keep putting pressure on you, and of course, political commentators like myself had to hold you accountable. So I do worry about the future of New York City. I do worry about the future of another, possibility of a snowstorm, hurricane, whatever the case may be. And under your leadership, there is a lack of experience, a lack of regard for human life. And you need to be held accountable. And the radical progressive council members that failed to condemn you should be held accountable as well. So let's see what happened with the money. I think there should be a federal oversight on these nonprofit shelters.
And I truly feel, as if, it's truly, 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 should be a better way. It definitely needs to be, because just me thinking about it, and as I'm seeing this, and I read this, and that's why, I wanted to show y'all, and I read this, and it just said, that Mayor Zohran Mamdani is proposing a $1.9 billion Department of Community Safety to address, these things, crime, mental illness, and homelessness. And I truly, truly look at this on the fact that, it's just a money grab. We've seen, obviously, that there's fraud in Minnesota. We've seen that, it's been fraud in Ohio. Obviously, you have in California, you seeing all this fraud and just seeing like this money, and it's just these individuals, that's all they want. They're not looking whatsoever for the health of individuals and actually truly what they need. If he did, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the trash that's on the streets. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about individuals within the buses and not being able to get on the trains, and the homelessness, passing away. The individuals that's playing on loudspeakers of them praying, and don't get me wrong, I feel like there's nothing wrong with prayer. I pray every day. Pray every day, all through the day. That's the thing. All through the day. But at the same time, it's the way that they're doing things. They're changing New York. They're changing New York. And I truly, truly do not, I just don't like that. I truly find it insane. As I'm looking at New York, as I'm looking at Minnesota, if y'all feel as if, y'all want these things to be the way that y'all want them, it's nothing wrong with learning, someone's culture and learning, what they have to eat. But if y'all trying to go 100% and trying to change, these different places, do it. Go back home. Go back to your country. The thing is when you do, it's very, very authentic. Very. It's fresh. It's fresh. It should be a breath of fresh air for a lot of individuals, right? Something that they're used to. I don't know. Yeah, New Yorkers. It says right here, New Yorkers are developing buyer's remorse of Zohran Mamdani. I know a lot of y'all have seen this video of, individuals that actually voted for him now mad at him.
That's right. We know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zohran. We voted for you, Zohran. We advocated for you, Zohran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting up. Get up in there and lie to us. You lied, Zohran. Shame, Zohran.
Shame. Shame. So as y'all can see, right there, they are turning on him. Not only all these things are going on with Zohran Mamdani, but you also have his mother. Says here, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's mother named in the latest Epstein files, which is pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. Says Mamdani on Epstein's out. Mira Nair is in Epstein files. Filmmaker Mira Nair, Zohran Mamdani's mother, named in Epstein documents as guest of Maxwell's 2009 townhouse film party. Casual email also drops Bill Clinton, Jeff Bezos, like normal social chatter. Y'all can go find this, and go check it out. What it says here, just left, after party for film. Bill Clinton, Jeff Bezos were there. Gene Pigazzi, director, Mira Nair, etc. And I truly find a lot of this. Like I've said in my last videos, is that stuff like this just doesn't, people just make up. Once it's evidence and once it's things out there, stuff that people start asking questions. People start wondering, what is this really? You know what I mean? What is this really? And I truly feel like, it's more of that being a plant, being planted there. So Zohran Mamdani is mayor of New York City just because of, his mom. Not him. And truly, I'm telling y'all, I definitely, believe something is up. Y'all know how I am. I'm not going to lie. One thing about it, just like this person has commented down here, funny how Zohran Mamdani has suddenly stopped tweeting about the Epstein files. If y'all didn't know, he was heavily, actually. And now, all of a sudden, he stopped talking about it, which is completely insane. One thing about it, President Trump is right. And I'm not saying, a person is right all the time, but says here, the more people learn about Mamdani, the less they like him. And as y'all see, his voters are starting not to like him. But again, that's your fault. People tried to tell you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and definitely appreciate y'all much. Let everybody catch y'all next one.